scratch your dick a little bit.
A puss.
A pussy.
I mean
The great.
They want to see
Kind of dick
the
is
dick.
that?
And who wants to see the dick?
You know, when
We
family-
make out.
So it just depends on.
Welcome back. Boy, it's been a while. Manpisode episode, whatever the fuck it is. Here we are, once again. I got some shit on my mind that I feel like it should be recorded, shared with everyone, and maybe we can get a little progress here. So just a few things that I wanted to go over today. Today's gonna be a short episode because I just wanted to go over a few things that I feel that a lot of people take for granted, and this is specifically towards men. And you know, like I said, this is a man episode, so it's all focused on man topics, shit that affect us, shit that is about us. And for you females out there that might want to listen in, you know, use this like a cheat sheet. You know, if you're having trouble with your significant other, if you are trying to get a significant other, or if you just trying to figure the fuck out, like what the fuck is up, then by all means, use this as a guide to, you know, navigate that, or navigate those troubled waters. So moving right in. So first of all, I gotta just put this out there. The window's up, and you might hear the city life. You might hear like a zooming car going 80 miles an hour, because why the fuck not, right? You might hear sirens. You might hear someone screaming at the top of their lungs saying, "Where the fuck is the weed at?" This is just part of, you know, living in the city. And for all the you out there who listen to podcasts, who have perfect ambience and sound systems and all that, fuck that. This is not us. Okay, we are in the city. We are doing the best we can with whatever the fuck we got. All right, we just have shit to say on a mic, and I ain't gonna edit this episode. So going right in. So I kind of was thinking a little bit about some of the things that really causes miscommunication between men and women. And I think it goes from both sides, because I think women take this for granted in men, and vice versa. Men take this for granted amongst each other, amongst men, and also amongst females. So I'm going to go through some of these, and I'm going to make multiple episodes about these things because it's a really long list. And I'm only going to cover a few in this episode, and hopefully get through all of them in future episodes. So the first thing I want to really kind of put it out there is that, you know, men are not mind readers. We're not even close to mind readers. We're not even like mind guessers. I don't know what it is. Like, attention to detail for the most part is not our strong suit. So if you're trying to have a conversation, have a some kind of riddle that you're trying to, you know, get your significant other to understand what you're feeling, what you're going through, and you just won't say it, you can't turn around and be upset. You just can't. I mean, it's just not fair, because you are assuming that we can somehow understand how you're feeling, what you're saying, what you're thinking. You know, we can understand your even your body language, because even though body language for most individuals is easy to read, and your significant other is sometimes really hard. It's really hard, and you can't just go out there expecting your partner, your male partner, to understand what the hell you're thinking. You gotta open the fuck up. You gotta communicate. You gotta say, "Hey, babe, I'm fucking mad. I'm fucking sad. I'm, whatever it is that you're feeling, or whatever's on your mind, you have to say it." And this goes both ways, ladies and men. Don't fucking just say the negative shit. Don't fucking do that. Don't just fucking sit there all day, say negative shit, and then keep the positive inside of your head. Because guess what? We don't know if you fucking love us. We don't know if you fucking like us. We don't. Oh, well, why the fuck do I cook for you? We don't fucking know why you cook. Maybe you're hungry too. You need to say that shit. You need to say it out loud. You need to say, I fucking like your ass. Despite everything, I like you. I like how you lay the pipe down. I like how you, make that special rice or whatever the fuck it is that they do that you like so much. You need to say that shit because that shit gives us men positive reinforcement to continue doing the things that you like, and also gives us a boost of confidence. Men operate on confidence. That's what we the fuck operate. That is the gasoline on our vehicle. If we don't have confidence in our relationships and ourselves, we are shits. We're just a pile of shit. So you have to understand that we are not mind readers, and you should definitely open the fuck up. That leads me to point number 2. Now, point number 2 is somewhat weird for me because I really relate to this, and it's that guys are shy. Most guys are they're not really confident, which leads to their shyness because we are either somehow afraid of what people might think about us, or she might think I might have a small dick, or anything. Like she might think I'm fat or not pretty or cute enough or whatever the fuck it is. A lot of guys are shy, and oftentimes it's up to us to approach a woman, to woo her, if you may, and kind of invite her out into a date. So we have to put it out on the line to sit there and be like, hey, can you interested? Can you hang out? Like, what's up? And oftentimes that one fellow who you're trying to hook up with isn't going to do that. He's thinking of 1,000 scenarios why he shouldn't do it or why he should do it. And oftentimes he will miss the opportunity to do so. So this feeds into rule. The first thing I started with, which is men are not mind readers. And that's partly the reason, because we don't know whether or not we should do this or not. So if you're a lady out there that you are trying to attract a particular man that he's just not getting it, like all these fucking signals that you're giving, like, well, I put my hand on his shoulder, or I flicker my hair every time he passes by. If he's not fucking getting it, guess what? We're not fucking mind readers, and we are shy. You need to just fucking step up and be like, hey, what's up? You want to go out? And you never know. That guy might be your soulmate. Because you might just be what he's missing, and he might be what you're missing. But if neither you are willing to be adults and to pick up after each other, and and kind of like, okay, this is not his strong suit, let me see if I can help him a little bit, you're never going to meet that right person. You're never going to meet any person for that matter. So you have to fucking understand that men are human too. Men are human, and we are not all the same. We are not all perfect, and we're not all macho man that you just gonna swoo you in. And if you keep waiting for that fucking macho man, he's never gonna fucking come. Because guess what? He's swooping down someone else. There's only a handful of them niggas, and there's millions of women in the world. So understand that men are not mind readers, and they are shy as well. So don't be afraid to just walk up and talk to us. Oftentimes, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Don't get me wrong. We'd love to get in your pants too, but that comes later. And we understand that, at least in modern society. The next I want to go into is that this whole concept of bad boys and like being a good boy or bad boy, or like being a badass and a rebel and a roughneck or all this other shit. I think in most of my life, I've been what you call a nice guy or a good guy or whatever the fuck you want to call it, a pussy, whatever the fuck. I don't really mistreat women. I never understood the treatment of women in a negative way, even within my early high school days. And I remember a lot of my friends, toying with girls, and they would kind of go up there and touch their bottoms or touch their ass and kind of run away and tease them in that way, or and do things to this day that would be kind of inappropriate. And I never did those things. I never understood what was the purpose of those, of those activities, because when it all boiled down, a lot of these guys weren't able to actually date some of these girls. They weren't able to seal the deal. So they continued playing games with them for months. And I would sit there and say, well, why don't you just ask her out for a date? Like, why are you playing this game? What is this weird interaction you're doing? You're just trying to touch her body, but you're not, at the time I felt like, well, isn't the prize getting her, getting her to kiss you, or like getting her to be your girlfriend? Isn't that the prize? Like, and isn't that what you? So what are you doing? What's the end game for the game you're playing? Because you're not doing anything. All you're doing is, copping a quick feel and then running away like a little mouse. So I never really understood that. And the whole thing about being the bad boy and roughneck, again, for me, it never really understood the purpose of being these things. Now, that's just me, right? There's a lot of guys out there who may consider themselves roughnecks. They may consider themselves bad boys or whatever the fuck it is. And they do dog out women. They do, I don't want to start casting judgment, but, they do things that are against society norms. They do crime. They may physically abuse individuals, not in domestic violence, but like just have fights all the time, or can actually hold their own in a fight. And I'm not talking about boxers or UFC fighters or anything like actual, like organized activity that they do as a profession. I mean, like, just at any given moment, even in the grocery store, they're willing to throw down. And you understand that for you girls out there who are seeking those type of men, who are looking for these bad boys and these roughnecks, understand that often it's a personality trait. You're not going to get a bad boy to sit there and start hearing you cry, or hearing your emotions, or hearing you about how your day went. They don't give a fuck. They don't. Oftentimes, you may go towards that bad boy or roughneck because you're looking for excitement. You're looking for that, that jazz of like, oh my God, I need to give it time. Anything go down, and it's almost like a high. But understand that when shit gets slow, there is no, there is no upside to that. The person is not going to just change who they are because you need something else. You can't expect people to change themselves because your need has changed. You have to adjust, and you have to find those people who fulfill your needs when the need arises. It's not always that the same person will be able to provide for you. And this goes the same for long-term relationships. This goes the same for short-term relationships. Sometimes you thought that this person was there and he's like, this person fulfilling my needs. And then, maybe a year or two later, you somehow grow up and your needs change, and you realize that, this person's not fulfilling my need no more. You have to make a serious, I don't even know what to call it. You got to make it, you got to just fucking look at your life and be like, hey, maybe I should change it up a little bit. Maybe I can, definitely have a conversation with the individual. Like, hey, listen, my needs has changed. Like, you're still on the same thing you've been doing 5 years ago. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to look at a house. You over here trying to you still, doing whatever you're doing. So regardless if it's bad boy, lazy boy, whatever the fuck kind of guy is that you're meeting, understand that person may not treat you the way you really want to be treated. And you can't expect them to go against who they are. Meet them where they're at. If they're a bad boy, lazy boy, good boy, or whatever the fuck kind of boy, when you met them, understand that's who they are. And don't expect them to change overnight. Not for you. Not for you. They change for themselves and because they want to make you happy, not the other way around. You don't change for you because you want to be happy. That's a selfish desire. Now, it's a selfless desire when you change yourself to make someone else happy. That's selfless, but that comes from an individual's point of view and the individual's desire, not the other way around. For example, I'll change for my wife because my wife makes me happy and I want to make her happy. That's selfless. It's selfish if she wants to make me happy regardless of what my emotions and my feelings are. So you have to avoid that selfish tendencies that individuals think that they deserve from other people. We're all individuals on this earth, and your perspective is not stronger or better than anyone else's. The next thing I want to kind of go into is that this is, when you watch videos on WorldStar, I don't even know if people still watch the WorldStar, but you watch things on WorldStar, YouTube, and stuff like that. You see physical altercations always occur. And in the last 10 years, and 10 years is a long time, but in the last 10 years, I've watched countless of videos, countless of all types of ages, where it ranges from teenagers to the young adults to older individuals, of intersexual physical abuse, which means like fighting amongst men and women. So that could be a man fighting a woman or a woman hitting a man and vice versa. And you see, you tend to see a bit of a variety of reasons why this occur. And then on the other side, you also see a lot of reasoning that people try to come up with why this is happening. For example, he cheated on her, so he deserves that. Or she scraped his car, so she deserves that. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, there is no reason, absolute no reason, to physically assault anyone. That includes a man. That includes a woman. Even I could sit here and say there is no reason to physically assault someone, regardless of their gender or their sexual orientation. There is no reason. Because once you initiate that physical assault, let's just step away from the whole thing that it's law and it's a crime or whatever. In nature, when an animal attacks another animal, things get crazy. Things get crazy. It is no longer people thinking the right way. The animals are not thinking, what you're doing is understandable, so I'm going to just let you do that. No, they go into fight or flight mode, and they decide whether I should run away from the situation or I should fight back. And I think there's a confusion that, like, as humans, we don't go through that same process. That when someone's physically hurting us, regardless of how much damage you're doing, that we ourselves as men and as women don't go into this fight or flight mode and decide, should I run away from the situation or should I fight back? Because at the end of the day, you may feel like your life is in danger with this person hitting me. And it's not about, if you step up to a man, and I've heard this reason before, like, if you step to a man, you better be able to defend yourself because you're going to get hit back. Listen, it's not even about that. It's not about, but you're a man and you stepping up to another man, you fight like man. Or if you're a woman, you step up to a man and somehow you're supposed to fight on equal terms. No, it's not even about, it shouldn't even get to that point. It shouldn't. It shouldn't get to that point. I don't understand, and I don't know what and where did it come from that just because a female, typically, in most average cases, a female or a woman is particularly smaller in size than her mate, her guy mate, that somehow that makes it okay to physically assault them because, well, they won't feel it or it won't hurt as much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, you know, Rosie is what, 5'2", 5'3"? Her hits hurt, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm like double her weight. Her hits. I think if Rosie one day got real serious and wanted to kick my ass, I'd be fucked up. I'd be fucked up. Cause shit hurts. Now, it's the same way you could hit someone who doesn't expect it, you know, expect them to hit you, and you can do a lot of damage. Hit them with a pot and pan or something, like you could do a lot of damage very quickly. And I think that as humans, we have to understand that when you introduce that into a relationship, when you introduce the equation of physical assault is okay, then the only result of that is physical assault, both ways. Because you have introduced into the relationship that it's okay. It's okay to do physical assault. So you are in danger by you physically assaulting a man. You are endangering yourself to become physically assaulted. And it's not okay to do it. It's not okay. If you don't want nothing done to you, you don't want to introduce that to anyone. It's the same way. The more you respect someone else, is the more it's like you're asking for people to respect you. If you talk to people in a negative way, you're inviting them to talk to you in a negative way. If you use racial slurs, if you use whatever mannerisms that you use towards other people, you are inadvertently agreeing and saying that this is the way you should talk to me and this is how you should address me or interact with me. And physical assault is the same way. You don't want domestic violence in your situation. You don't want to get your ass beat. You don't want that guy to physically assault you. So why would you want to introduce that into the relationship? Why would you think that's okay? Why would you think that he would want to? You know, I go back to the previous statements. We are human too. We hurt just as much. If anything, we hurt more. We just hide it better. Maybe. I don't know. You know, our bodies are not that much different. We have the same nerve endings. You know, some could argue maybe women have some more, you know, whatever the biological differences. I don't know the hell the difference. But for the most part, we're still human. We are born the same way. We both come out of womb like everyone else. We divide the same way. Like, it's like we are, you know, just few subtle differences between us. But that's it. So we have to understand that it's not okay to physically assault anyone, men included. If you're, I don't care if you are a 3 foot tall woman, it's still not okay to hit a man. I don't care if he giggles as you're doing it. It's still not okay. It's not okay because physically assault is not effective communication when it comes to your issues and your problems and your concerns. A person is never going to understand what is your problem, what is your plight, if all you do is resort to physical assault. You yourself cannot communicate. You're not able to communicate what your problem is. And I think in general, like if you find yourself that you are a perfect communicator, which no one is, but let's just assume here that you are a perfect communicator. You're like, Manny, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My communication skills is on peak. It's just sometimes he doesn't fucking listen to me. I have to hit him upside the head so he can hear me. If this is you, I'm saying that shit 3 times, then I feel like the problem is that maybe he doesn't give a fuck. And if he doesn't give a fuck, Your problem is not your communication skills. Your problem is him. And you need to step away from him because he doesn't give a fuck. So you're going to just waste your energy continuing down this fucking road where he doesn't want to listen, and you have to waste physical energy trying to get him to listen. Oftentimes, we don't want to fucking use our energy for people who don't give a fuck about us. We don't. Life is too fucking short to sit here day after day after day fucking just staring at paint dry. Like, move on to the fucking next one. Like, it's not that fucking serious. You know, love is cool and all, but fuck me. Like, to what point are you going to sit there and realize that what the fuck you're doing and what you're talking to, the person does not give a fuck about you? And they show you day in, day out, day in, day out. They fucking show you all the time. Sometimes you got to just wake up, smell the flowers, see the red flags, and just step the fuck away. Like, this ain't worth my energy. This ain't worth my time any fucking more. The last one that I want to kind of touch on today is, and like I said when I started this was going to be a quick episode. And again, if you hear traffic in the background and all this shit, listen, deal with that shit. All right. I don't live in the fucking country. Maybe you live in a country, you might hear like birds chirping or crickets or some shit. I live in a fucking concrete jungle, and you're going to hear those concrete cows stomping up and down the avenue. So for my last point though, I want to just make sure that I touch on this, is that as dense and simple-minded men are, we are still as emotionally complex as women are. We are fucking just knots of emotions. We just sometimes don't know how to fuck to express them shits. We just don't know how to express them, because both society sometimes does not encourage us to express these emotions. Right? We're not taught by mom and dad to, hey, you know, it's okay to cry. We're not taught to, hey, you know, when you're feeling down, this is what you should do. Society does not encourage these behaviors from us. So sometimes, depending on the male that you're dealing with, he may have no idea how to express his complex emotions. He never thought about it. It shit just comes flying out. Sometimes it comes flying out in frustration. Sometimes it comes, you know, flying out in even a variety of ways. And I think for women, it's important to encourage that establishment that it's okay to express those emotions, but not necessarily push and force a person. Because you have to understand that a lifetime of training and a lifetime of encouraging not to express his emotions can sometimes be a little scary and a little weird when one person's telling you it's okay to share these emotions. Because you kind of don't want to open up, right? You kind of like, what the fuck? What the fuck is she talking about? Sadness. I'm not fucking sad. What the fuck is wrong with you? But I think it's the trick is to see, you hear the shit? Fucking firefighters, dude. It's crazy. Anyway, so I think the trick here is to make sure that you kind of treat it like little kids. And I'm not saying treat your man like a little kid, but kind of name them fucking shits. I say to him, like, if you see that you think your husband or your significant other is mad, say it. Like, you see him upset. Are you upset? No? Okay, cool. And then come back. Like, are you sad? Are you sad with? Okay, no, okay, it's fine. Are you depressed? You know, you just start labeling these fucking things. Sometimes as men, we don't know what the fuck we're feeling. We're like, what the fuck is this? Should I go work out? Should I go eat? Fuck. And we live with this shit every fucking day. Every fucking day. Every day. We could be in mid fucking depression. We don't even know what the fuck depression is. We don't know what the fuck it feels like. All we know, we feel like down in the dumps. And sometimes we have to depend on other men who don't know what the fuck that is. They just like, hey man, we could just get the fuck up and just do some shit. And that's sometimes that shit does help. Sometimes it does help. Sometimes it doesn't. And for women, you guys, you girls got it good. You guys got the labels. You got knows what the fuck. Oh, you call your best friend. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a little down. I need someone to talk to me and just listen to me out. We don't fucking have that. We can't just call someone and be like, hey, I just need someone to listen to me. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get the fuck off my phone. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that labeling, it helps us a lot because it lets us at least think about it like, am I fucking depressed? Is this what depression feels like? Let me Google that shit. What does depression look like? And then maybe it might trigger something inside of us to say, hey, that might be. You hear that shit? Fucking huge ass shrug. It's some bullshit. Anyway, that might sound like some shit that I may have. So, in the spirit of this thing, just take that in mind that the subtle communication between men and women and, just towards the men, know that they're just as complex as you are. We just may not know how to express them, label them, and manage them, more importantly. And I'm not sitting here saying that it's a woman's job to help us manage our emotions. No, it's not. However, if you do have a significant other, it is your job to support them. It is your job to support them. And if you're still going to be supporting them, these are small ways that you can start supporting your partner by helping them understand some of the emotions that they have. And if in fact they've never learned how to manage or identify them. Because the last thing you want to do is be married to someone who's been clinically depressed for 10 years. And then all of a sudden they kill themselves. And you got to sit there and like, well, what the fuck happened? He was happy. How? Why? It turns out he was just hiding his depression, or he just didn't know how to communicate his depression. So he just kind of went through the motions that gave you everything you wanted. And you never really turned around and say, well, this man is fucking depressed. Because all he does is go home and read a newspaper. He doesn't do anything else. Now, there's nothing wrong with reading a newspaper, obviously. But like, you gotta, read between the lines. Read between the lines. So I've said a lot today. I've said a lot today about a few of these things. And I'm going to do a few of these episodes. And I'm going to go through a lot of different things about men that I feel women take for granted. And in society in general take for granted. That men are somehow a different species. And maybe we are. But it doesn't mean we're not human. We're fucking still human, I think, and we should still be taken in consideration when it comes to a lot of these things. And I think that the more we take the time to understand each other, the more we take these things more importantly, the better our relationships, our love lives, and our just work life will be. Hands down. And before this fucking sirens passes by, I'm gonna end this episode. I'm going to do my best. See this shit? Just listen to this, everyone. It's some bullshit. It's some bullshit. Complete bullshit. Every time I come try to fucking record an episode, this is what happens. But so basically, take each other into more consideration. And I think our lives would be that much better as a society and as individuals. I solely believe that shit from the bottom of my heart. So that's it for Manpisode, or whatever the fuck episode this is. Obviously, when you see it up, it's going to have a nice label and everything. And I'm going to, give it a nice little title and everything. But this is pretty much, the cheat sheet to men. Not going to call it that, but this is what it is. It's just me breaking down some of the things that I find, important to mention about men that I think people don't take into consideration enough. And like I said before, I'm going to be doing a lot of these episodes. I honestly feel like I want to get it off my chest, and I want to express to everyone too about why it is what it is. And like always, follow us on Instagram, follow us on all the social medias wherever we are. If you have any questions, feel free to visit our website to view our social medias and our episodes. Feel free to check out some of the other previous episodes with me and Rosie, kind of break down some of the relationship issues and some of the topics. And I also have some more episodes up with some of the different fellows that I find around who I find interesting to talk to about some of the things that they do. As well, if you have any suggestions for future episodes, feel free to drop it in our website and the suggestion box, and we will, if we do decide to use it, we will contact you and we'll let you know, hey, we're going to be using it. Do you want a person to be on the episode? And depending on our schedules, depending on what we're doing, we might consider that and explore that. Like always, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us, and have a good one.